Quantitative comparison of obesity prevalence and food intake, a cross-national and longitudinal self-tracking study, using the GH method, Math Physical Medicine. Number 1239, April 3, 2025, by Gerald C. EclaireMD Foundation. Category, Obesity and Public Health. Abstract. This study investigates the quantitative relationship between food consumption and obesity prevalence through two complementary perspectives. 1. A cross-national comparison of overweight and obesity rates, %, alongside daily food intake, per person, and 2. A 15-year longitudinal self-tracking dataset from the author. Results indicate strong linear correlations between reduced food intake and decreased body weight at both the national population and individual levels. The author himself. These findings support the clinical and public health importance of food portion control in obesity prevention and management. The combination of GH method of Math Physical Medicine and the author's self-tracking framework further provide a validated methodology for personal health monitoring that complements part of global data trends. 1. Introduction. Obesity is a growing public health concern globally, with its prevalence closely tied to dietary habits. This study applies the GH method, Math Physical Medicine, to examine the correlation between food quantity and obesity trends across both national and personal levels. Two charts are presented. The first provides a cross-national analysis of obesity prevalence and food consumption. The second illustrates the author's 15-year longitudinal tracking of his weight in pounds and his food portion in grams. These visual comparisons serve to confirm consistent trends between food portion, size and body weight outcomes, from perspective of both national and individual. 2. Methods and data sources. Two datasets were analyzed. 1. Cross-national data, overweight and obesity percentages, %, and average food consumption data, in 100 kilocalories, per person per day, for 5 countries: United States, United Kingdom, Taiwan, South Korea, and Japan. 2. Longitudinal self-tracking data, GCH. The author collected and analyzed his own daily weight and meal quantity data from 2010, Y20, to 2025, Y24, using normalized scales. This 15-year longitudinal dataset consists of over 5,000 days of continuous monitoring. All data were evaluated using linear regression analysis, with correlation coefficients, R, and coefficients of determination, calculated to assess the strength of the relationships. 3. Results and chart descriptions. This study includes two key visual comparisons. Top chart, cross-national comparison. Title, % versus food consumption per day for 5 nations. X-axis, countries, US, UK, Taiwan, South Korea, Japan. Y-axis, blue line, overweight and obesity percentage, %. Y-axis, green line, food consumption, or meal quantity in 100 kilocalories per person per day, labeled food. Key observations. The United States has the highest %, 71.6%, and a relatively high food intake, scaled at 38.15 or 3,815 kilocalories per person per day. Moving from the US to Japan, both % and food quantity decline steadily. Japan and South Korea show the lowest values for both metrics. Around 27% of % and 2,700 kilocalories per person per day. A strong correlation is observed. R is 0.815580, indicating a solid linear relationship between food consumption and % across these 5 nations. Bottom chart, longitudinal self-tracking, GCH, Y20Y24. Title, GCH Y20Y24, Gerald C. The author's personal data from 2010 to 2025. X-axis, years, 2010 to 2025. Y-axis, green line, morning body weight, starts at 220 pounds, BMI, 32.5 in 2010, and ends at 165 pounds, BMI 24.5 in 2025. Y-axis, blue line, meal quantity or food portion, starts at 1.76, equivalent to 1,200 grams per meal in 2010, and ends at 0.43 or 300 grams per meal. Key observations. The author's personal data shows an extremely strong correlation between his food intake and his body weight. R is 0.923934. Average values during this period. Weight, 178.28 pounds. Food quantity, 0.9031, equivalent to 614 grams, with 680 grams normalized to 1.0. Both body weight and food intake steadily declined over the years. As the author's food portion dropped, his weight declined proportionally. This aligns closely with the cross-national pattern, where reduced food quantity correlates with reduced obesity prevalence. 4. Summary table of key metrics. Category, cross-national, highest % US, 71.6%. lowest AU percent, Japan, South Korea, 27%, correlation coefficient, R, 0.815580, coefficient of determination, R squared, 0.665171, category, personal, GCH, initial weight, 2010, 220 pounds, BMI 32.5, final weight, 2025, 165 pounds, BMI 24.5, correlation coefficient, R, 0.923934, coefficient of determination, R squared, 0.853654, 5. Discussion. This dual perspective analysis demonstrates that the reduction in food quantity is strongly associated with a decrease in both AU percent at the population level and body weight at the individual level. The close match between the author's long-term self-tracking data and global national trends reinforces the reliability of both datasets. Moreover, the higher correlation observed in personal data reflects the potential of individualized monitoring for early detection and management of obesity. 6. Conclusion. This study confirms the consistent and quantifiable relationship between reduced food consumption and lower obesity prevalence, both nationally and personally. Portion control emerges as an effective, measurable strategy for managing weight and mitigating the health risks associated with obesity, such as diabetes and many mortality diseases. The GH method structured self-monitoring model proves to be a powerful complement to global public health insights.